statistical, mathematical fact
never has been down.
has broken every single record. There is no asset that has come close.
It's the only thing in the industry that was not touched, that was not hacked, and it never fails doing what it promised in 2009. It's never
What's
failed.
the best performing asset the world has ever seen? And you'll find out that it's Bitcoin.
Welcome, Bitcoiners, 13%ers, traders, followers, supporters, haters, passers-by, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another live space with Oliver Velez. Of course, my name is Oliver Velez, and guess what? Surprise. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today. Yeah, surprise, guys. It is several hours before my birthday, before my official birthday, guys. Yes, my birthday is coming up at 12 noon. I'm on the East Coast of the United States right now. So for me, my birthday is in just a few hours. It's 9:34 my time. But happy birthday to me. A little bit early, but happy birthday to me. Yes. Come on in, make yourselves comfortable, grab the beverage of your choice. Maybe you want to take something to take some notes, write some things down. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, guys. For those of you who are actually experiencing a live space for me for the very first time, I just want to set the record straight before we kind of get into the thick of things here. I don't pass the mic. I don't really hold those traditional spaces where, we're fumbling with other people's mics and we're, I don't know, in a disheveled way, kind of shooting the breeze or what have you. I like to have certain themes that we talk about that are planned in advance. Or just like, we're doing now, have an open Q&A. And I like to open things up for questions, but I just think that the best way for me historically to share the limited amount of information and knowledge that I have is best done sort of in a monologue type form. So maybe that comes in the future at some point where I'm passing the mic to you and listening to your dogs bark in the background and your kids cry and, your wives tell you, Bob, take out the garbage, and things of that nature. But for now, we're just going to do it like this. All right. All right. I hope you don't mind. Also, there is some method to the madness here because every single live spaces that I have does ultimately become an official episode on my podcast called Bitcoin Unleashed. I really want you to seek that podcast out. I think it's a great orange pilling tool. It's also a great tool for you should you, I don't know, be working out on a treadmill or in the gym or jogging or whatever. You throw an episode or so of that on. I think it helps to fortify your Bitcoinness, if that is a word. I also think it's a great tool to help you fortify your responses to certain things that many other people who you are trying to orange pill will come up with. And I will tell you off the bat, I don't have all the answers. I feel that I am still just scratching the surface of my Bitcoin journey. Guys, let me draw a puff on this before this cigar goes out. I'm just scratching the surface, guys. I still consider myself a baby in the Bitcoin journey. I, by no stretch of the imagination, consider myself an expert. And if you were to ever bring something up that I feel that is above my pay grade at this particular point, I will be the first to let you know. I'm still learning, but that I think is a huge thing. I think that's important. I think that's very, very special because when I started the Bitcoin journey here on Twitter or X.com, whatever you want to call it, I thought it would be a great experiment to sort of learn in public, to take the journey step by step openly. So mistakes would be viewable, bad takes or bad opinions initially that get corrected would be viewable. I just thought that that sort of live experience on my part was very unique and special. And so I decided to do that here. Now, if you go back over my history, I started my Twitter account when Bitcoin started. So just look at the history. And I was active at first, and then I disappeared completely off Twitter, and decided to come back. I guess I would say 2021, at least as far as Twitter is concerned. And I decided to come back in a way where I'm just going to just share my personal journey. I mean, with all the warts, all the mistakes, all the bad takes that get corrected and what have you, because that's what everyone's journey is filled with, mine included. You know, when I first started in this space, I started like everyone else, shitcoining. And I brought guys, listen to this. I brought 9,000 plus traders with me. I can show you these numbers. If you want to see them, I'll show it to you. I always bring receipts, guys. So I brought 9,000 plus traders that were private members of my own Bitcoin trading club, right? I got the club membership up to 9. Now, these are paying members because I can't do things absolutely free. It was very low cost, but I can't do things absolutely free because I have employees and staff and this and that. I've got to pay to organize things or whatever. I can't do really anything free. But low cost membership, 9,000 plus people. We went into Bitcoin. We got into Bitcoin at the lowest price. The lowest price we piled in was 3,800. The lowest price we nabbed in Ethereum was $95, guys. $95 Ethereum. And at this time, guys, and during the crash of 2020, which is when we struck, Bitcoin was just another tradable item to me. I mean, I was already at that point where I understood it was a unique trading item, but it was just another trading item to get more dollars. So I felt like here's this new item now that's mature enough for me to add it to the mix of things that I use to gain more dollars. Because guys, over the past 43 years, I have honed my craft at trading anything on planet Earth that moves. I believe I've risen to the point where I can do it better than most. There are thousands of people that will corroborate that and tell you that. And I will tell you this. If it moves, I believed for a very long time, if it moves, I can trade it. And so if you don't want to be traded by me, you better stand very, very still. That's where I felt I got my craft. And I got my craft to that level where if it moves, I can trade it. And so Bitcoin was just this unique item that had reached the level of maturity enough where I could trade it for more dollars. I traded everything for dollars. I did everything for the US dollar. Do you understand? I became an expert at what I do to make dollars. I became more astute to make dollars. I dedicated my life to making dollars. And I did it consciously, whereas that many of you don't even realize that you have given your whole life. You dedicated your whole life almost from birth to the US dollar. You just don't realize it. You think you're searching for happiness. No, you're searching for more dollars. You go to universities to get more dollars. You become more skilled to get more dollars. You're watching YouTube videos to get more educated to make more dollars. All your life, from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, is dedicated to the US dollar. Many of you don't realize that you have given your soul for a piece of paper that is in the hands and the control of another man. And so I consciously did this. I traded everything for US dollars. And Bitcoin came into my life as this unique item, this new market that was unique and different from everything else, but still, I looked at it as just another thing to trade for freaking US dollars. And I would say that in the midst, I had my what is it called in the Christian faith? I had my moment on the way to Damascus. What do they call that? Shoot, my mom would shoot me now for me forgetting this. Anyway, for those of you who are in a Christian faith, you know, when Peter was on his way to Damascus to crucify more Christians, he basically had that knock off. He got knocked off the horse moment. That moment, that instant, that epiphany, that instant change. That's what happened to me. I remember the moment I fell off the horse. I remember the moment it was like, OMG, are you freaking kidding me? I made the biggest mistake of my career. This moment occurred when I was selling thousands of Bitcoin. I was in the midst of unloading thousands that we had accumulated below 4,000, 4,000, 4,050. We kept accumulating all the way to $8,000 of Bitcoin. So we had an accumulation range. My traders will tell you this. Some of them are probably here listening to this talk right now. They were with me. And again, like I told you, I have receipts. If you want to see it, I will show you. I will show you this. But so I'm selling. So I'm like, okay, look, we have this rule where, you know, once you triple your play, you got to start unloading. I started unloading thousands of Bitcoin at 14,000. And in the midst of this unloading, guys, I had this moment, this Peter-esque moment on his way to Damascus. I'm like on my way to fiat freaking heaven. And in the middle of me realizing all these fiat gains, I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I just do? And guys, I will tell you, as quickly as one could turn on a dime, I literally started pounding the buy button again. And Bitcoin was ripping, guys. It was ripping. 15 was gone, 16,000 was gone, 17,000 was gone, 18,000 was gone. And all I could think about, I want you to understand this, all I could think about was I let go what I had at 3,800, 4,000. I'm trying to buy it back at 16. That's gone. I'm trying to buy my 4,000s back at 17,000. Now that's gone. I'm trying to buy my 4,500s, the Bitcoin that I got at 4,500. It's now at 18,000, and now 18,000 is gone. I am telling you, I pound the table every single day with one purpose in mind, to try to share the mistake that I made. I don't want you doing the same thing, because I'm telling you, there are some of you right now that are going to sell at 55,000, 60,000, and you're going to be chasing at 200,000, 250,000, thinking about the fact that you were buying at 40,000 and you bought at 35,000 and you bought at 45,000. You're not going to be thinking that you're buying at 250,000, but your last buy was at 200,000. You're not going to think about that one. You're always going to be haunted by your lowest buy. To this very day, you saw, I posted it for you. I just nibbled on some extra Bitcoin at what? Just below 50,000, because my post said we may not see we may not see prices under 50,000 again. Remember that? So I just did this ancillary buy there, right? That buy, there is never a single buy that I don't remember my buy at 3,800. I bought at 49.99, whatever that price was, and that flash of my buy at 3,800 came up in front of my mental apparatus. You're always haunted by your lowest buy. And I am telling you, there are some people who will go to their grave haunted, not by the lowest buy they made. They're going to go to their grave haunted because of the buy that could have happened that they never allowed themselves to do. Yes, there will be people that will buy, that will refuse to buy because they could have bought and didn't. That's the epitome of ego, my friends. Just because I could have bought at 1,000 and now you want me to buy at 52,000? No way. And they're going to die with that $1,000 mental price in their minds, dejected, depressed, and forever feeling empty. You can't miss out on something this big and not regret for the rest of your life. It's impossible. The company that failed to adopt the internet in the 1990s, they are out of business today. And those people, if they are still alive, behind the companies that said, I'm not doing some BS internet, nobody's going to trust their credit cards on the internet. I'm not buying into that. We're a real company with real people and real Those people, they don't have businesses anymore. And I will tell you, if they are still alive, sitting on their freaking couches in their dilapidated living rooms watching football, they're depressed. I promise you. They are depressed. They may have kept their word. They may have never did what they said. They may have never had a website. They may have never moved to the internet. They may still be resisting like Facebook and Instagram and that. I'm a real person. But they will die empty. I promise you this. And in the same way, those people exist today. People that just because they could have, but still won't, there will be the people who will die without Bitcoin. And they won't die happy. They won't die fulfilled. They'll die with this empty space, this nagging knowing that I could have. And it doesn't even it takes just a little bit to be a part of it. But you know what? My dad used to always say, Oliver, son, you can't fix stupid. Leave stupid alone. You can't fix it. Move on. Oliver, move on. You can't fix stupid. You can't make people see. You can point, but you can't make people see. JC says, happy birthday. I really appreciate it, JC. Thank you. If anybody's curious out there, I'm going to be 58. I don't understand what the issue is about people being afraid of saying how old they are. My grandmother was like that. Guys, I have a grandmother. She's in the history books down in this southern part of Virginia. Now, I'm not going to dox her or anything like that. She's no longer with us, but she was a remarkable woman. And one of the premier entrepreneurs, female, Black, African-American woman, big in the 1940s and 50s, in Virginia, no less. But anyway, to this very day, there's no one in the family that knows how old my grandmother was, because she would never let someone know. And she was born in the era before all of this record keeping, right? So there's no records of the date she was born or anything like that. And she just never let anybody know. Nobody knows how old my grandmother was. I've just never understood that. I don't care. I'm 58 and at 12 noon, 12 midnight, I'm 58. And I'm going to do everything in my power. I know some people say, well, Oliver, you're smoking a cigar right now. You're fighting the living, the long life to experience everything Bitcoin has to offer. That's arguable. I get it. But I am doing everything I possibly can to try to live, to see what some of you guys are going to experience. I think that we are so extraordinarily fortunate. We're at an age where we see, you can't feel this exhilaration. It's hard not to feel this exhilaration right now. The feeling that Wall Street's stamping in, the Black Rocks of the world can't get enough. Like, dude, 3 years ago, if you said that there would be a fight on Wall Street for who's going to get the most Bitcoin, would anybody have believed you? Really? Like, the most powerful financial organizations in the world, battling. It's like freaking UFC on steroids, no? I feel like breaking out popcorn every night. You know, air popped, no butter. It's a little bit better for you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like breaking that out every night and checking the numbers. This is more exciting than the freaking Super Bowl. It was a great Super Bowl, by the way. But damn, this is financial history. There's no ETFs that's ever been this big, this fast, this powerful. It's like gripping. Now, maybe that's just because, you know, my world is, for the last 4 decades, has been this. But like, dude, I want you guys to think about this, right? When have ETFs been an exciting topic? Are you kidding me? Bitcoin did that. Like, guys, there are freaking cocktail parties going on now with flowing martinis, and the topic is the spot Bitcoin ETFs. When on this planet called Earth have the topic of ETFs been a cocktail topic? When has the ETF experts gotten many followers and everyone hanging on their word? What point in our existence was an ETF expert a desirable follow? What? Freaking most boring topic on planet Earth. Now they're freaking gods. People are looking for, well, you know, can I find out where the ETF numbers are? Who's a good source? When Bitcoin brought excitement. Bitcoin brought Super Bowl excitement to the freaking boring ETF world. Are you kidding me? Bitcoin can do anything. I am freaking convinced. Oh my God. You guys just don't understand. Nobody cares about these details about ETFs. Now, every detail. Everybody wants to know every detail about the ETF. Well, what's cash? What's cash create versus in kind? When? Bitcoin did it. I am just flabbergasted, guys. We are living in truly exciting times. Times where you're going to be able to tell generations that come after you, your kids, your grandkids, Bitcoin did it. ETFs were never exciting, but Bitcoin did. Bitcoin made it like that. Nobody was into this, but Bitcoin made them into that. Nobody was into automatic savings, but Bitcoin did it. Nobody was into investing for the future the way they were, but Bitcoin did it. No one was into learning about fiat currencies and how they came into existence and how they actually go down they trend towards zero forever, but Bitcoin did it. No one was interested in financial history, but Bitcoin did it. No one was interested in how the Federal Reserve is nothing more than a cartel that is designed to steal wealth from the masses at 2 to 6% a year. But Bitcoin did it. No one considered this. No one considered that. No one was into that, but Bitcoin did it. Can you see this? It's freaking amazing, guys. We're living in exciting times. This is wild. You know? Whoa, Bitcoin Chris says, conviction, moment of truth, coming to Jesus moment. Yeah, I had my Jesus moment for sure. 14,000. I remember it like it was freaking yesterday. Never forget that. And, you know, I can't say that it's painful. I mean, there is a certain level of pain there because, guys, I had to spend so much more to get the same thing back, and that can never feel good. So your conviction has to be high enough to do it. And most people's conviction aren't high enough, so they don't do it. Like, think about the people, guys. Think about this, right? Think about all the people that had Bitcoin at $50 or $10 or $12. They refuse to buy today. They don't have Bitcoin. Most OGs don't have Bitcoin today. Please understand this. It is possible to be too early. Don't ever wish you were early like that. We're at the sweet spot. We're at the best time to get Bitcoin today. Because if you got it at $10, you would never buy it at 52,000. Never. Because you would feel taken. You would feel stupid because you had already bought it at $12. Like, you'd be like, I'm not buying that at 52. Are you kidding me? And you will be left behind. It is possible. In fact, it is usually detrimental to be too early to a thing. We learn this in war, right? The first people to battle in an 8-year war, are they alive? No, none of them. You can be too early to a war. You understand? You get all the bullets first. You die first. You don't want to be first to a revolution, I'm telling you. Unless you're just willing, I know I'm just gonna make the sacrifice. I'm gonna die. You can be too early to an innovation. You can be too early to a discovery. You can be too early to a new movement. You want to be careful. You don't want to be too early. The early people die early, and they don't get a chance to see how the movement, how the war, how the innovation, how the discovery starts to take form. It's all conceptual in the beginning. So in the beginning, the OGs thought, this is cash. I should be buying Christmas socks with Bitcoin. So they bought Christmas socks with it. I should be buying all types of different coffee and pizzas and shit like that. And they spent thousands of Bitcoin on bullshit because that was the narrative early. It was supposed to be electronic cash. You're supposed to use it, failing to see how over time that's not what it is supposed to morph into initially. So the conceptual idea of Bitcoin being pure cash in the beginning was wrong. Not that it wasn't cash, it just wasn't supposed to be used as cash yet. Yet. You understand? It's sort of like I'm your 3-year-old is not supposed to have a career yet, but they're going to, but yet, not at 3. They're not supposed to let the 3-year-old kid have a childhood. It's, so you can be too early. And there were so many people that were too early. And they regarded Bitcoin as being something that it wasn't ready for yet. And as a result, they are locked out of the future because of their egos, because they had it at $1 and $5 and $12. They never will allow, their ego won't allow them to pull out cash and literally buy at 52,000 today because they feel taken. They feel violated by doing that. And they will be without Bitcoin forever. You can be too early. We are the fortunate ones. We see it the right way today. Do you understand? We're the lucky ones, not them. There are very few people who held on to the Bitcoin they had in the early days. Don't envy them. I'm telling you. We are the lucky ones, not them. This is the real time. This is the early days. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you, people? Do you understand are you picking up what I'm laying down? Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know. Thank you for all the happy birthday wishes, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. LibTex is making an interesting comment here. He says, Oliver, been in crypto since 2014, and I bought Bitcoin at 3,800 as well. Looking back, I thought that was expensive. Since then, I've bought at many levels, and always my DCA is balanced. Overall, I'm very happy keeping my stack till I have enough for generational wealth for my family, BTC. Yeah, man, you are one of the fortunate ones. You're one of the few. You're actually rare. And I hope you realize that, because people in it that early in 2014, I'd say 98% of them aren't here with us today. They're gone, man. Dejected, depressed. They're the dis category, right? Disillusioned, disrespected today by the Bitcoin community because a lot of their views are now considered wrong. Guys, like I said, you can be too early. We're not too early. I am proud that we started now. I'm proud of it. I don't envy any of those young people because I'm telling you, I know me. I wouldn't have Bitcoin today. If I was in it at 2014, I wouldn't have it today. I know me. I know Oliver Velez. I wouldn't have. I got it at the right time, guys. You know, it's that old meme, you you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. You also get it at the time you deserve when you get it right. What I mean by get it, not that you get it like, oh, it's just another trade. No, when you finally get it, that's the right time for you. There are many people that I respond to here that I can see from my perspective, guys. I always have to throw that out there. From my perspective, I feel that they don't get it yet. Like I was having, but they might get it. So I was having this banter back and forth. Where's the guy? I was asking him to come on the live space here today. He probably is not going to do it, but maybe he'll do it. But anyway, I can't. Was it? Yes, Francisco. I don't know if Francisco's here. Francisco here? I appreciate Francisco because, like, look, guys, sometimes I respond back to you very strongly, and that's just my nature. I just do that. But that doesn't mean I don't respect you coming back at me strongly with your view too. Like, you might get the impression that because I come back at you so hard and strong, that I don't like the fact that you're coming back at me hard and strong. I think that's theater. I think that creates what we're supposed to have in a community. And when I'm responding to you, I'm not responding to you. I'm responding to hundreds of people. I wish it were thousands, but it's probably hundreds. I'm responding to the hundreds of people who read the comments. So I never want you to take it personally when I come back at you a certain way. I'm thinking globally here. I'm thinking from an electronic footprint point of view that will be read for ages down the line. So, but Francisco was saying that, Oliver, Bitcoin, your image, because I had posted this image about Bitcoin having cash of just over 1 trillion, and it has more cash than every publicly traded company in the US. And some people were saying, and Francisco in particular were saying, Oliver, that's stupid. That's apples to oranges. And I'm like, well, how is that apples to oranges? I mean, read the freaking white paper. Bitcoin is a Bitcoin cash, peer-to-peer cash system. Like, it is cash. Like, I know when you're thinking from the system, it's not cash. But that's the problem. You haven't gotten to the place where you're outside of the system yet. Bitcoin takes you outside of the system to look back into the system from the outside of the system. And if you haven't done that yet, you can't see Bitcoin as cash. I get it. But that's what it is. I mean, this is not coming from me. This is coming from frickin' Satoshi Nakamoto. He labeled the shit cash. Like, I didn't create that. That's not from Oliver Velez. Satoshi freaking Nakamoto said this is cash. Like, you're going to argue. Don't argue with me. Argue with him. Her, it, they, whatever it is. I didn't say it. But I am reiterating it. That it is the ultimate. Listen, Bitcoin's becoming. No, Bitcoin already is, but it will be realized. That's the word, as the ultimate cash the purest form of cash humans have ever been in contact with, a cash that is not controlled by any human being, but is accessible to every human being, a cash that actually rises in value. When have you had a cash that rises in value over time? Never. All your cash falls in value, which is another way of saying that all of your goods go up in price. That's looking at it from a different angle. Goods don't go up in price. Goods go down in price. This is a fundamental fact. Goods don't go up in price. That's the lie. Your money goes down in price, which makes it look like your goods go up in price. You can't tell me today, people, that it costs more to make a loaf of bread in 2024 than it cost in 1913. It is freaking impossible. It is orders of magnitude less cost, more efficient to create a loaf of bread today in 2024 than it was in 1913. But why was a loaf of bread 3 cents and 5 cents in 1913, and why is it freaking $5 today? That's not the loaf of bread, people. Wake up. That's your dollar declining in value, making it look like your product went up. Products don't go up in price. They go down in price. It's a freaking mathematical law. That's just the way life is. Everything goes down in price. But your money, your cash, has never gained value. And for the first time, we have a cash that goes up in value. And you're trying to tell me it's not cash? Dude, you're telling me I don't get it. No, you don't get it. Not me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now I'm supposed to put the collar on that. Well, according to my opinion, but I'm not going to do that. It's not my opinion. It's fact. 1 + 1 = 2 is not my opinion. That's fact. Anyway, guys, I know I'm crazy here, so. James said, after James, what's his name here? I can't see the full thing here. James is saying, after seeing the ETF inflows, I didn't stack hard enough. I feel like a bozo. You know, it's funny, James. James is mentioning, he's making a comment here that I think is so poignant because there's a side of us, all of you as well. You want to see that price go up. You feel good about it. But as it continues to go up, there is a side of you that will feel sorry that it's going up. But this side doesn't grow until it goes up a lot. You understand? So what I'm saying is that some of you who are stacking now, some of you got that dip below 40,000 when I told you last time below 40,000. And I think I'm right. Some of you still think I'm still too early to say that. I think 40,000, under 40,000 is done. And we're quickly going to move to under 50,000 done. That's what I believe. But anyway, my point is that some of you were stacking under 40,000 during the last dip. You're stacking at 42, 45, 48, and even 50s now. But this side of you, this saddened side of you grows over time. I can only speak it from my own experience because what gnaws at me and never goes away is what I could have done under 4,000. under 5,000, under 10,000. I had the capability, do you understand, to really be at the multiple billions of dollars level today. Right now, I had that capability, and it gnaws at me that why couldn't I have seen it back then the way I see it now? And there's that little part of sadness that grows the higher it goes. You will experience this if you haven't already. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are in this before me. And I know you know it, and I know you feel it. And so, what is my number one message? Almost every post: stack harder. Why do you think I have that at the end? Because of that sadness in me that only grows, that sadness that I should have stacked harder. And so I make it my mission. Like, what value does that lesson have if I don't share that? It doesn't have a value. It's the only way I can make it right, by trying to get other people to realize that if you don't stack harder, I'm telling you, you're going to feel sorry. But this sorrow never leaves. It's with you forever. So guess what? Stack harder. Stack harder. It takes your conviction to be at a certain level. I get it. And I do try to help in that regard. I try to keep your conviction high. I try to keep your motivation high, even though motivation is temporary. But it still has a value. I try to keep the noise level low, because most of the shit that we hear every day is noise. Like, the only thing that matters is the price every 4 years. Nothing else matters. Not even the ETFs matter. Not even what the SEC does matter. That none of that matters. It's just, all right, last price, guys. Get this. The last price of the last halving was at 8,000. A little bit north of 8,000. So look at where we are now, 50,000. What if the next price of the next halving in April is 92? I don't know. I'm thinking we're gonna be maybe at all-time new highs at the next the next halving in April. But what if it's like 92? So the last price was 8,000 and this one's 92? That's the only thing. Everything between 8,000 and 92, or wherever it's going to be, was just freaking noise, no? We didn't even have to pay attention to it. We could have just lived a glorious life between 8,000 and, even if it's 52 now, that's exponentially higher than 8. All you got to do is stack in between the 4 years and freaking chill, freaking relax, freaking live your life. And it's very comforting to know that every 4 years, this will be the same forever. It's not going to stop. In fact, not only is it not going to stop, people, it's going to freaking speed up. This is not going to slow down. Don't buy into that bullshit. Oh, well, diminishing return. Bullshit. No, it's going to be lower. No, it's going to be faster. Dude, do you realize that we haven't even started? That was the practice run. We didn't have ETFs. We didn't have institutional bids during the past. We didn't have the world coming on board. We didn't have countries adopting it. We didn't have, dude, are you serious? That was the freaking warm up. You can't say that the warm up is better than the actual game. Like, come on. Doesn't even make sense. Every 4 years of your entire life, for the rest of your life, and the rest of your kids' lives too, and their kids' lives, all you got to do is 4 years to 4 years to 4 years to 4 years. And no, what if you had a winning lottery ticket, but you could only cash it in 4 years from now? Now, you could make the winnings as big as you wanted to, but you had to keep putting in. You had to keep putting money on the winning lottery ticket until the next 4 years came. Wouldn't you spend 4 freaking years getting as much as you possibly can to bet on the guaranteed winning ticket? We have a freaking guaranteed lottery ticket. Do you understand, people? Wherever April's price is at the halving, 4 years from that price, you can bet your bottom dollar is exponentially higher than that number, and everything else is noise. Every news article, every supposed new regulation, bullshit, noise, 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 fake news. It's crazy. When you really understand this, when it hits you, I don't know, it's like you start to experience these epic brain waves that you've never experienced before. It is like really literally raising the curtain and seeing this is Oz. Like, dude, this is it. It's like taking that pill and seeing the Matrix for what it is. It's mind blowing. And you know, I will tell you this, guys. I will tell you this. Thank you guys for all that I'm seeing your birthday comments. Thank you. But I'm telling you this. The Oliver Velezes of the world, and what I mean by that is the people who have been entrenched deeply in the way things are, the financial fabric of the world, and how money operates and how to manipulate the system. I've been in that world for 4+ decades, right? And look at me now. Look at what I'm talking about. Look at what I'm pounding the table on. I know about that world more than most. And I'm pounding the table on what? More of that world or more of Bitcoin? The Oliver Velezes of the world. You think I'm the last one that's going to be doing this? Dude, every hour of your existence, there's a new Oliver Velez born. Someone who was part of the old world, who gets it, who has that Jesus moment, for lack of a better phrase, and is like, holy shit. Every hour, they're coming. And they're coming for your Bitcoin. I just want you to realize they can't get it from the miners. The ETFs have that. They're coming for your Bitcoin. You're going to sell it to them. These people who have learned to manipulate the old system and see now, because of Bitcoin, the holes in it, they're coming, buddy. They're coming. The Oliver Velezes are coming. I'm taking your Bitcoin. When I press the buy button, that Bitcoin is coming from someone. Do you understand that? It's not coming from the sky. It's coming from someone letting it go. You're letting it go. I'm there to take it. I am not the last Oliver Velez in your life. They're coming by the hour, and they're coming with big funds. Do you understand this? They're coming to gobble up all of your shit. And these are people, these Oliver Velez's I'm talking about, they don't scare like you scare. Do you understand me? They don't freak out because of a little tiny wick. Oh my God, Oliver, it's crashing. But Oliver, the movie, the death cross, Oliver. The death cross of the moving averages, the overbought RSI, the stochastics indicator, Oliver. Oh, this trend line from 4 years ago. Look, these people, do you understand? They don't buy into that bullshit. They're out to take what you have. They're getting educated. They're going to come into this space. They're going to get more educated than you. They're going to understand what this is more than you. And they're going to take your shit. And they're not going to scare out of it. You'll never get it back, ever. When I take Bitcoin from you, oh, let me just make this clear to you. You will never, that Bitcoin will never see the light of day. I want you to understand it. Never. Not as long as I'm alive. I am not the last one that's going to do this. They're coming by the hour. They're coming in droves. And I am telling you, if you don't adopt this mindset now, I'm not selling, Oliver. I'm with you. I'm not selling. I'll wait out the system. I'll wait for the time where we can just easily use it for anything we want, but I'm okay. I'll wait for that. You had better adopt that mental attitude faster than not. Because if you stay in that mode where you're going to sell it for some bullshit later, some bullshit that you won't even value 5 years later, you're never going to get it back. I will never get $3,800 back again per Bitcoin. Do you realize this? This is going to be your experience, people. You're going to experience. I will never get sub 50,000 Bitcoin back again, ever, forever. No human being will ever, for the rest of the history of human life, get Bitcoin under 40,000, under 50,000 again. I want you to think about this. And then that number will just keep going up. There'll be a time where no one's ever going to get Bitcoin under 100,000 again, ever. Think about all the billions of people that are going to be born later. We're going to get to 10 billion people, and then 15 billion, and then 20 billion people. These billions not born will never see Bitcoin below 40,000, ever. They will never. Humans not even conceived yet will never see Bitcoin below 40,000. And you saw it, you had it, and you let it go. Stick with me. If you ever have that urge to to sell it, the first thing I want you to do is DM me. That's the first thing. I will do two things. If you DM me, say, Oliver, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm thinking about selling my Bitcoin. You DM me. I will do two things. I promise you. I will first, one, try to talk you out of it. Second, I will send you arrangements to buy it from you. You think I'm kidding? Ask my traders. I tell them, I don't want you selling on an exchange. You selling to Oliver Velez. You guys think that the Bitcoin I buy is what I show you here? Really? You really think I show my hand like that. You have no clue. OMG. What are we doing here now? Let's see if I can get this thing here. What are we doing here? That's right. But Oliver, why do all the weak naysayers sound like that? I just want to know that. I've always been curious about that. Anyway, if you are a weak naysayer, a hater, whatever, I want you to understand how I read your comments. I read your comments with that voice. But Oliver, it's Bitcoin's not cash, Oliver. You've got it wrong, Oliver. But Oliver, they all sound the same, man. Weak. Yeah, C flat is making the right point. The point is, sit on it, plan on never touching it. Over time, there will be loads um, built, loads of things built on top, layers on top of Bitcoin. One that you can use to have ways you don't spend it. That's very true. And I'm glad you're mentioning that C flat, because one of the things that I deal with my guys, that have these doubts, they're like, but Oliver, but I can't do this with Bitcoin. Like, I can't pay my mortgage with Bitcoin. I think Francisco said that. But I can't, but Oliver, I can't pay my mortgage with it. So it's not cash. I'm like, but you can't pay your mortgage with T-bills either. That's the purest form of cash in the world right now. That's what they say is the purest form of global cash. U.S. Treasury bills. You can't pay your mortgage with a U.S. Treasury bill. Like, come on, get out of the small mindedness of what you think cash is. My point is that sometimes I have to deal with but Oliver, I can't use Bitcoin for this. I'm like, thank God, because you have to understand how beneficial, how blessed you are that you can't do everything with Bitcoin yet. This is the sign that we are early. You want to wait for every I to be dotted and every T to be crossed with an innovation and then get in? Like, you think that's how you take advantage of a freaking opportunity? No, I'm going to wait for everyone in the world to have it. I'm going to wait for everything. You can do everything on Bitcoin first. I'm going to wait for every human being to have it. And then I'm going to get involved. And you think that's how you take advantage of opportunities? Like, what planet do you do that on? Because the opportunity's gone then, right? You want to see the potential. You want to get in before the I's are dotted, before the T's are crossed. You want just enough proof that, my God, this has freaking potential. It hasn't even done this yet. It hasn't even done that yet. You can't even pay your mortgage with it yet. But my God, that's coming. So you're getting in on the freaking ground floor. You don't get in on the 100th floor. Like, come on, people, wake up. We're early. Thank God you can't do everything with Bitcoin yet. That's a blessing. Let me just put this, when you can, it's over. Not over, but you know what I mean. Like, the meteoric gains that are in front of us, that's over when you can do everything with it. North Star is asking, Oliver, how does the world look on a Bitcoin standard in terms of credit? That's a very good question. Do we now have full do we now have full reserve banks? What are the ramifications to the financial service industry? Um, I will just listen, all of this is speculation at this point. So, that's what speaking about the future can only be that, right? Because no one really truly knows what the future is. But you can, through the laws of probability, kind of come up with what is likely to happen, or at least the direction, and not be too far off. You might not hit the bullseye, but you'll hit the board, to use a darting analogy, right? Um, and so, listen, credit is not going to go away. Credit is a very useful tool, and it's been vilified in recent times, but we want credit to always exist. Credit has existed for hundreds of thousands of years. This clan says, listen, man, we're the fishing clan and you're the cave building clan or whatever. I don't know. And, or you're the boat building clan and you guys are specialties in boat building and we're specialties in catching the fish. So look, you need some extra fish this week. I get it. But, later down the line, we're going to need like a new boat for this. And when we're ready for that, you just do that for it. Like, credit is part of the human experience. You do credit with your friends, with your family members, with your kids. All right, man, now look, I'm buying you this, but you've got to do your chores with this, that. That's credit, right? So credit is a useful thing. So credit's not going to go away. It's just that what's going to be the underlying asset will be the truth for once. It's not going to be phony. It's not going to be fake. And the thing that we use as the backup, we won't have to trust another man. You see, the problem in credit is that a man was behind the credit. Until Bitcoin came into existence, a man is back there with his freaking black top hat, his little freaking bow tie, his spectacle in one eye, and the watch. You know how they used to wear the watch connected to a freaking chain, and they used to put the watch in a little slit left pocket of their vest. The Monopoly guy, right? You ever see the Monopoly character? We had to trust that dude. The Monopoly dude was behind credit. I don't want that dude behind the credit anymore. Bitcoin came to deliver a system that can have credit without the freaking mustache, spectacle wearing, top hat, bow tie. Saying, trust me, bro. I don't want to trust you. And so credit's going to be built on the truth now. Credit is not going to rely on trust anymore. It's going to be real. And so when you have a system where if the terms aren't met, the Bitcoin gets automatically swept to the other person. When there's Bitcoin up, that's going to make everything truer. And that's coming to where you and I can enter into an agreement. And if the agreement is violated by ways of smart contracts, whatever, that Bitcoin gets swept. Now, it's all still kind of futuristic thinking. And no, I can't explain the details behind how that will work, but that's coming. I'm telling you, that's coming. Time-locked Bitcoin will become time-locked Bitcoin. Look it up. Look up time-locked Bitcoin. you know? And that is going to become the most pristine form of collateral in the entire world. Time like Bitcoin. And to be honest with you, America as a country is preparing for this. I mean, why do you think that the laws were changed to allow every bank in America to custody Bitcoin? Do you know when this was done? This was done during the Trump administration. Trump said in our faces, President Trump said in our faces, "Oh, I don't like Bitcoin. I like the US dollar." Yet he was passing laws to allow every bank in the US to custody Bitcoin. Why? You don't think they see this? You can't buy into the rhetoric. You have to watch what they do. Do you understand? What they do is they're pro Bitcoin. Every act is pro Bitcoin. Every single one is pro Bitcoin. Rhetoric is never pro Bitcoin. Actions, all of them. Guys, every US act is pro Bitcoin. Think about it. Think about it. FASB rule change, pro Bitcoin. Spot ETF approval, pro Bitcoin. Banks, every bank in America can custody Bitcoin, pro Bitcoin. Are you kidding me? Bitcoin ruled as a commodity. So, and not a security, pro Bitcoin. Like, guys, every step is pro Bitcoin. China bans mining. The majority of those miners come to the US, pro Bitcoin. Like, you can't buy into the words. Don't listen to their lips. Watch every action, and their actions scream to you, you should be getting this and holding it. Are you picking up what I'm saying, guys? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Am I talking for nothing here? It's wild. Joshua says, I moved my entire 401k from another brokerage to Fidelity in December so I could be ready to buy before the ETFs open. Oh, I like that. Cool. Yeah. Don't forget, man, ETFs are not Bitcoin. ETFs. So think of Bitcoin, guys, like a Ferrari, right? And think of ETFs like a freaking hitchhiker on the side of the freaking road. And think of the Ferrari driver just being benevolent. You need a ride? All right, cool. Where you going? All right, I'm going that way too. You going up? I'm going up too. You want to catch a ride? All right, cool. And Bitcoin accepts the hitchhiker in the Ferrari. But you will have to get out of the Ferrari at some point. Do you understand? It's not your Ferrari. Get the fuck out. At some point, you're going to get out of the Ferrari. I'm saying when you buy Bitcoin, you are the Ferrari. Do you understand? You understand the difference? You're not hitching a ride and you got to get the fuck out of the Ferrari at some point in the future. You're going to have to sell out of the Ferrari. You're going to have to get out of the Ferrari and go right back to dollars again. But isn't the whole freaking point to escape the dollars? So just understand the difference between these two things. One is a financial product that is hitching a ride on the real thing. but can't stay there forever. So, know the difference. There's nothing wrong with having both if it makes sense for other reasons to have some over hitching a ride. But understand it, do it consciously, not because, oh, but it's the same thing. Da, 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 da. No, that's just being dense. It's not the same thing. Dude, a picture of your best friend's beautiful wife is not your best friend's wife, dude. Let me just tell you that. You may have fun with the picture. Both of your outcomes might be the same that night, but it's kind of not the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, one is very real and the other isn't. And I don't want anybody here confusing real Bitcoin for a financial product. Like, that's just missing the whole freaking point. Play with it, use it as a tool, understand the difference. That's all I have to say about that. All right. Yeah. Atlas says, relax, bro. He's talking to me. There's still 60 days till halving. It will drop below 50 for sure. Meanwhile, here's a shit corner. CAH will always make better profits. Let's not even just go there. This dude is still chasing dollars. Misses the whole point. C Flat says, this doesn't seem like a Q&A. It's like one guy preaching. Yep. Absolutely. I pound the table and preach as hard as I can. Absolutely. That's what I'm going to do. Let's see here, guys. I think that might be it. I appreciate that, LibTech. Thanks. So Ali can narrate a book. Great listening. Enjoy. Appreciate it. You will always feel late to Bitcoin, unfortunately. Absolutely. Yeah. But I am trying to change that feeling for people, or help people change their feeling about that, because I just think that we're early. And I think that we're getting into Bitcoin during this era at the best time, which I won't reiterate those points again. You can always go back and re-listen to them if you like. But yeah, man, it wasn't easy. People disrespected Bitcoin initially. That's why so many people lost their Bitcoin, didn't take care of their keys. The monetary unit from a US dollar perspective was so small. It was like, what am I doing with this? They forgot where they had it. They put it on a computer, sold the computer, trashed the computer. But you respect this more now at 52,000 or whatever the US dollar price is now. You're not going to treat it the same way someone treated it at 12 cents. You understand? And so there's a higher degree of respect. And in some ways, I think that Bitcoin is more cheaper now than it was at $12. And some people have a hard time with that concept. Oliver, how can $52,000 of Bitcoin be cheaper than $52? And it can, because of the respect level, the importance level, it's lower risk at 52 than it is at $52. At $52 is huge risk. There's less risk at $52,000. Look at who's in. Look at who's buying every day. Countries involved. Look at the hash rate. Look at the mining industry. Just turn on any financial program that's talking about Bitcoin. That didn't exist at $52. You had nothing. This is a shot in the sky. Do you understand? A shot in the wind. Like, it's lower risk today. There's greater certainty at 52,000 than there was at $52. Greater certainty means lower risk. Anytime you raise certainty, you lower risk. It's less risky at 52. Thank you. Appreciate the birthday wishes, guys. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, listen, I just wanted to kind of pop in if there's nothing else here. China's fast tracking an ETF before the halving. Yes, China's coming on board. Of course, Hong Kong. So you'll have Hong Kong and China in the next few months with their ETFs. And guys, ETFs in the US haven't stopped either. So this Charles Schwab coming out, they're seeing too much money leave their coffers. So they're coming out with their own ETF. And Charles Schwab is massive, guys. We're talking about $4.1 trillion in assets under management. That's nothing to scoff at. That's one of the largest holders of wealth in the world. So Charles Schwab will be adding an ETF in the next few months, a spot Bitcoin ETF. Other countries are going to come on board because they don't want to see a flight of their massive wealth to the US ETFs. Guys, you see the game theory playing out here. And China banned Bitcoin mining in May of 2021. And now they're coming out with a spot ETF. But guys, you can't ban Bitcoin. You can only ban yourself from Bitcoin, which is really banning yourself from the next revolution or evolution, depending upon how you view it. You're banning yourself from the future. And you're going to have to pivot or die the same way that people who scoffed at the internet don't exist today. And people who scoff at Bitcoin will not exist tomorrow. Bitcoin is just another phase of the movement we called the internet. It's the same movement. We label different phases of the movement things. And these labelings, these labels that we assign to this time, and then we assign another label another time. These labels create this false notion that the movement is different, that they're separate things. The internet is not separate from Bitcoin. It's just that we put a different label on the internet now than we did before. We called it the internet before. Now we're calling the new phase of that movement called the internet Bitcoin. But underneath, if you strip the two labels away, it's one freaking movement straight up. It's the digitization of everything in the physical realm. The internet digitized or demonetized our books, our photos, our information, our knowledge. That movement is now gone to money, but we call it, because the movement is the same, but now starts to touch money, we call it something else. We label the new era something else, but it's the same thing. It's like a long snake And we put the back part of the snake we call the internet and the front part of the snake we call Bitcoin. But if you take the pieces of paper that say internet and Bitcoin off the snake, it's the same freaking snake. It's not new. It's the same movement. It's just moving and conquering. It conquered photos. It conquered mail. It conquered music. It conquered videos. It conquered books. It conquered information. It conquered knowledge. Now it's freaking conquering money. But we just call it Bitcoin. All right, guys. Love you guys to death. You know what to do. Go to work. Stack harder. You'll always regret that you didn't stack harder. Just keep that uppermost in your mind every single day. And I will see you next time. All right, guys. Ciao for now. Boo!
My name is Oliver Velez, and I am your 13%er Bitcoiner. Be safe out there, and until next time. Boo!